Jodie's dating profile should come with a health warning. Since arriving on the street in January, the bunny-boiling baddie hasn't had time for a relationship. She's been too busy trying to destroy her sisters. In a delightfully demented quest for vengeance, Jodie spent months cozying up to her sister Shona, Julia Golding, in order to seduce her husband David, Jack P. Shepard. Just to pay her back for walking out on her when they were kids. This plan went predictably pear-shaped when she crawled into bed with a drunken David and failed to convince him that she was Shona, even in his inebriated state. Outraged, David went blabbing to Shona, resulting in Jodie's exile from the Platts. Oh well. On to the next sucker. Or, as he prefers to be known, Daniel Osborne, Rob Mallard. The tortured headmaster of Weatherfield High was drowning away his sorrows to forget the Megan Walsh scandal when he found Jodie trying to claim squatters' right in his flat. While initially furious, he soon warmed to her, and they bonded over who's got the most messed up life. There was even the slightest of sparks between the unlikely pair that suggested that #Dodie might be on the cards. However, when the time came for Jodie to move out, she resorted to desperate measures to keep Daniel vulnerable enough to still need her around, by assuming the identity of an online troll called Truth-Teller to spread vicious lies about him online. This went about as well as you'd think, with Jodie being exposed yet again, angrily thrown out by a raging Daniel and forced to go cap in hand back to Shona for a roof over her head, much to David's chagrin. Aside from these two romantic disasters, Jodie's also had a chaotic dalliance with one of the few people on the street worse than her, Carl Webster, Jonathan Howard. The two villains have flirted like crazy in the cafe and even spent the night together, although it never came to much. Jodie may be 2 carats short of a hot pot, but she's got standards. Then of course, there's the mysterious abusive partner Jodie told Shona that she'd come to Coronation Street to escape. Fans took this story with a pinch of salt, mainly because Jodie attended a domestic abuse survivors workshop to make her story sound convincing. However, it seems that Jodie did indeed get mixed up with a dodgy fella, who sent thugs to Weatherfield to track down a hard drive that she stole. Whoever Jodie's mystery ex was, he was nasty enough to hire Emmerdale's scariest butler Graham Foster, Andrew Scarborough, to kidnap her. After all that drama, it's perfectly understandable that Jodie would want a nice, normal fella. Our condolences to that nice, normal fella. Recently, the twisted Miss Ramsey has been far too busy concealing her brutal assault on Sarah Platt, Tina O'Brien, and spreading rumors about her having an affair with her ex to worry about her own love life. But that's all about to change in upcoming episodes of Coronation Street, when the schemer scores a date with one of Weatherfield's loveliest lads. When Jodie gets landed with making a Tin Man costume for Harry's school play, she scrolls through a dating app. One of the profiles amuses her, and she clicks to like it. This profile belongs to none other than Cobble's cheeky chappie Ryan Connor, Ryan Prescott. This happy chappie also has a romantic CV best described as it's complicated. He famously defended Daisy Midgley, Charlotte Jordan, from an acid attack which left him purposefully disfigured. This led to an affair which devastated her boyfriend at the time, Daniel Osborne. Doing the dirty with Daisy brought a swift end to Ryan's relationship with then-girlfriend Alia Nazir, Sir Khan. But now he's back on the market and ready for a date with Jodie. RIP. However, this is Jodie we're talking about. It wouldn't be a date with Jodie if there wasn't a bonkers gothic plot to go with it. Jodie reveals that she's got a date. When David lets slip that he's meeting Nick in the bistro, cogs were in that Freudian nightmare of a head of hers. So when David arrives, Jodie switches on the charm hoping to make David jealous. Jodie had spent months convincing herself that romance simply wasn't on the cards. Life on Coronation Street had thrown enough challenges her way already. Between family drama, workplace chaos, and the endless stream of gossip that flowed through Weatherfield faster than the buses, finding love seemed like the last thing on her mind. Yet fate, as it often does on the cobbles, had other signs appeared during an ordinary afternoon at Roy's Rolls. Jodie was enjoying a quick coffee when a familiar face walked through the door. The moment she looked up, she froze. Standing there was someone she hadn't expected to see in quite some time, a beloved Weatherfield resident whose charm and warmth had won over everyone in the community. Their eyes met across the cafe. "Fancy seeing you here," he joked with a smile. Jodie laughed nervously. "I could say the same thing." What began as a simple conversation quickly turned into something more. They talked for nearly an hour, sharing stories, laughing about old memories, and catching up on everything they had missed. For the first time in a long while, Jodie felt completely at ease. News of their growing friendship spread quickly. It wasn't long before the street's unofficial gossip network began working overtime. "You two seem very cozy lately," Sally remarked with a knowing grin. "There's nothing going on," Jodie insisted. But even she wasn't convinced by her own answer. Over the following weeks, the pair found more reasons to spend time together. A casual lunch became an evening walk. An errand turned into coffee. Every meeting seemed to last longer than planned. Friends began noticing the change in Jodie. She smiled more. She laughed more. Most importantly, she seemed happier. Yet romance in Weatherfield is never straightforward. Just as Jodie started considering the possibility of a new relationship, doubts crept in. What if she was misreading the situation? What if opening her heart again only led to heartbreak? The uncertainty grew until one rainy evening when everything changed. After helping close up a local business, the pair found themselves sheltering from the weather beneath an awning. Rain hammered against the pavement, while neither seemed eager to leave. "It's strange," he admitted quietly. "What is?" Jodie asked. "How much I look forward to seeing you." The words hung in the air. Jodie felt her heart race. For a moment neither spoke. Then she smiled. "Funny," she replied. "I was thinking exactly the same thing." The tension that had been building for weeks suddenly disappeared. There was no dramatic declaration, no grand gesture. Just two people realizing they had become important to each other. As they stepped back into the rain together, hand in hand, it became clear that a new chapter was beginning. For Jodie, love had arrived when she least expected it. And for Weatherfield residents watching from the sidelines, this unexpected romance could become one of the street's most heartwarming stories yet. Of course, this is Coronation Street. Happiness never comes without complications. The real question is whether this promising new relationship can survive whatever twists and shocks the cobbles have waiting around the next corner. Will Ryan want dessert, or will he run out without paying the bill? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street News 24.